Before 1914, Europe was a giant room filled with gunpowder, waiting for a single spark to blow everything up. Major powers like Britain, Germany, and France were fueled by jealousy and suspicion, building massive armies and navies. They formed secret alliances, meaning a small argument between two countries could turn into a massive brawl involving everyone. This dangerous setup meant that if one country fought, their friends promised to jump in and help. Leaders proudly thought war would be a quick, glorious adventure. They believed their soldiers would be home by Christmas. Sadly, they were wrong. Their pride led the world into a massive disaster that changed history forever.
The catastrophic spark that ignited the world occurred on a sunny Sunday in Sarajevo. Gavrilo Princip killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Austria blamed Serbia, and due to secret alliances, this regional dispute exploded. Austria declared war, prompting Russia to mobilize. Germany aggressively stepped in, declaring war on both Russia and France. Germany marched through neutral Belgium, compelling Great Britain to join the fight. In weeks, major powers were locked in combat, dragging colonies into the slaughter. This single political murder became the Great War, shattering empires and ending millions of lives. The era of peace vanished, replaced by the roar of cannons and the devastation of the trenches.
Initially, optimism prevailed. Soldiers marched away smiling, believing victory would come by Christmas. Germany executed the Schlieffen Plan, intending to knock France out before turning against Russia. However, Allied forces fought back fiercely, halting the German advance at the Battle of the Marne. Following this, the momentum died and both sides were locked in a deadly stalemate. To survive artillery, soldiers dug complex systems of deep, zigzagging ditches known as trenches. These muddy scars stretched from the Swiss border to the North Sea. Movement vanished. Millions were now trapped in squalid earth, facing each other across no man's land. Filled with barbed wire, this marked the grim beginning of a brutal war of attrition. Armies bled for mere inches of ground. The dream of a quick triumph was gone. It was replaced by a static nightmare that would consume an entire generation.
Life for soldiers in the trenches was a horror story. They lived in deep holes filled with mud, filth, and freezing water. Giant rats ate their food as sickness spread. Right in front lay no man's land, a deadly wasteland of barbed wire and bomb craters. When the order came, soldiers climbed out into a suicide mission. Enemy machine guns and cannons blasted them. Thousands died in minutes, often just steps from where they started. For years, this pattern continued with no end in sight. They fought over tiny strips of ruined land, trading lives for just a few yards of dirt. This was a stalemate, where victory was impossible. Stuck in a muddy nightmare, they wondered if they would ever see home again.
Since the trench lines were unbreakable, nations invented terrifying new weapons. Before this, battles were fought with rifles and cavalry. Now, industrial technology took over. Machine guns dominated, firing hundreds of bullets every minute, creating an impenetrable wall of lead. Even more horrifying was the introduction of poison gas. This silent killer burned lungs and blinded those without masks. Seeking to break the stalemate, the British developed the tank, a massive, steel monster. These armored giants crushed barbed wire and rolled over trenches. Meanwhile, the skies changed forever as biplanes were weaponized to drop bombs. Fragile biplanes, a brand new invention, were weaponized to spy and drop deadly bombs. This was the first time war was fought in the air. Submarines, or U-boats, also lurked beneath the waves, sinking ships without warning. Mechanical nightmares transformed warfare into a slaughter. The war became faster and far more deadly than any human had ever imagined. It was no longer a test of bravery, but a slaughter by machine. The world watched in horror as science was used to destroy life on a massive scale.
While the Western Front is famous, World War I exploded across the entire globe. It was truly the first world war, reaching far beyond Europe. In the east, Germany and Austria-Hungary battled Russia across vast, snowy plains. Millions of poorly equipped soldiers suffered through hunger and a freezing cold. The war reached extreme environments, from the high peaks of the Italian mountains. to the scorching deserts of the Middle East. At sea, German U-boats hunted beneath the waves. The sinking of passenger ships sparked global outrage and eventually pulled the United States into the fight. Soldiers from every corner of the earth traveled thousands of miles for their empires. From India to Australia, no part of the world was safe. From this devastating conflict,